Listen up, Chicago. A massive insider bombshell just dropped, and it is shaking the entire Windy City right now. We are talking about a Blockbuster trade rumor that could bring an absolute game record to Soldier Field and completely revive the monsters of the Midway. This is the exact piece our defense desperately needs to dominate the trenches and make a serious playoff push this year. You absolutely cannot miss this massive update. Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel immediately so you never miss any breaking news about Da Bears. Bear down! Chicago Bears fans, prepare yourselves because a significant report from ESPN's Adam Schefter has us all buzzing about a potential blockbuster addition, Las Vegas Raiders star Maxx Crosby. While Crosby himself has no playing history with our team, the idea of him landing in Chicago isn't entirely new. General Manager Ryan Poles admitted the team at least checked in on him when he was available for trade earlier this offseason, signaling our clear interest in bolstering the defensive line. For us, this news hits hard because we finished tied for the 7th fewest sacks in the NFL last season, and the question mark opposite Montez Sweat, with Austin Booker, Dayo Odeyingbo, and Shamar Turner still developing, remains a major concern. Schefter made it clear on his podcast that while he doesn't expect a trade this summer, if the Raiders struggle early, falling to perhaps 1-5 or 2-6, a deal for the 5-time Pro Bowler could absolutely become a reality by the November trade deadline. His co-host Ty Schmidt even suggested the Bears as a landing spot, and Schefter acknowledged it by shaking his head in agreement. Given Crosby's well-known desire to win and the Raiders' rebuilding status with a tough schedule, a reevaluation of his commitment could easily happen if they stink it up again, as the report states. For us, the thought of pairing a game wrecker like Crosby with Sweat, especially if our win now Bears are in playoff contention, is incredibly exciting and offers a clear path to solving a critical defensive need. Adam Schefter's recent acknowledgement, with a definite nod, that the Chicago Bears are a very real potential landing spot for 5-time Pro Bowl defensive end Maxx Crosby certainly sent ripples through the fan base. This isn't just idle speculation. It stems directly from Crosby's deep-seated desire to win, which reportedly fueled his earlier trade demands before he publicly recommitted to the Las Vegas Raiders. However, Schefter believes if the Raiders, who are rebuilding and face a tough schedule, start the season 1-5 or 2-6, that recommitment could quickly fade. We've seen this team struggle with consistent edge pressure, finishing tied for the 7th fewest sacks in the NFL last season, despite Montez Sweat's impact. The significant question mark opposite Sweat, with Austin Booker, Dayo Odeyingbo, and Shamar Turner needing to prove themselves, makes a player of Crosby's caliber incredibly appealing. Now here's the thing. General Manager Ryan Poles himself admitted the team checked in on Crosby when he was potentially available earlier this offseason. This isn't a new concept for this franchise. Great Bears defenses have historically been built on dominant pass rushers, and the current regime under Ben Johnson understands the critical difference a top-tier disruptor can make. From the front office perspective, if we're truly in the playoff hunt come the trade deadline in early November, adding a proven high-motor player like Crosby would instantly elevate our defense to another level. They'd undoubtedly be thinking about that win-now window, justifying a significant move for a player who could push us over the top. This type of move, bringing in an established star to solidify a playoff push, aligns perfectly with the urgency of a team ready to compete. Alright, we've heard Adam Schefter's latest intel on Maxx Crosby, a truly electrifying talent, and the possible interest from our Chicago Bears. Now let's cut through the noise and delve into what this entire scenario truly signifies for the future of this franchise. This isn't just another trade rumor. For our Chicago Bears, it represents a pivotal juncture to solidify our defense and accelerate our competitive timeline. Here's what people are missing. This isn't just idle speculation. It's a tangible opportunity for our team to immediately address a glaring weakness. The immediate impact on our roster would be transformative, instantly upgrading our defensive line by pairing Crosby with Montez Sweat, fundamentally altering our pass rush effectiveness that struggled last season, finishing tied for the 7th fewest sacks in the NFL. This addition would reduce the burden on developing talents like Austin Booker, Dayo Odeyingbo, and Shamar Turner, allowing them to grow without immediate starting pressure. Regarding specific upcoming games, envision the psychological edge this brings. Opposing offenses, particularly in crucial division matchups against the Minnesota Vikings or Detroit Lions, would face an entirely different challenge, forced to account for two elite edge rushers. Such a move would drastically shift our standing within the NFC North, projecting a clear win-now message and significantly bolstering our playoff chances. Especially if, as Schefter suggested, the Raiders faltered to 1-5 or 2-6 by the trade deadline, and we find ourselves in the hunt. This strategic move would be a game-changer, demonstrating the front office's commitment to immediate success. It would solidify our defensive line, creating nightmares for opposing offenses and truly elevating our team's potential for a deep postseason run, making us formidable contenders. As Chicago Bears fans, we're always looking for that next piece, and the buzz around Maxx Crosby is certainly getting our attention. The strongest argument for bringing him to Chicago is undeniable. We have a glaring need at edge rusher opposite Montez Sweat, and Crosby is a 5-time Pro Bowler known for his relentless motor and desire to win. Our team finished tied for the 7th fewest sacks last season, a statistic screaming for an immediate, high-impact solution. Adding Crosby would drastically improve our pass rush, signaling a serious win-now mentality from general manager Ryan Poles, who admitted checking in on him earlier this offseason. This move could truly elevate our defense, making us a legitimate playoff threat. However, the risk and downside are equally significant. A trade for Crosby would likely involve substantial draft capital and a hefty contract, potentially mortgaging future flexibility. While he publicly recommitted to the Raiders, his past frustration over winning could resurface if Las Vegas, under Clint Kubiak, indeed stinks it up again, as Schefter suggests. Even if the Raiders are 1-5 or 2-6, a mid-season acquisition requires quick integration, and it assumes our young edge rushers like Austin Booker, Dayo Odeyingbo, and Shamar Turner won't adequately step up. Adam Schefter, a widely respected NFL insider, has fueled this speculation, stating a Maxx Crosby trade could be back in play if the Raiders struggle. He definitely shook his head in agreement when his co-host, Ty Schmidt, directly suggested the Bears as a possible landing spot. The episode title, "The Crosby Situation Bears Watching with Bears Capitalized," further highlights national media attention on us. Bringing together Adam Schefter's intriguing thoughts on Maxx Crosby and the Bears' explicit interest reveals a clear and exciting roadmap for this franchise's immediate future. This isn't just about adding one player. It signals a profound win-now mentality permeating Halas Hall for the next several seasons. The team's desire to secure a dominant edge rusher across from Montez Sweat, especially after finishing tied for the 7th fewest sacks last year, is paramount. With Austin Booker, Dayo Odeyingbo, and Shamar Turner still unproven, Maxx Crosby represents a guaranteed impact player. If the Las Vegas Raiders struggle as Schefter predicts, potentially going 1-5 or 2-6 by the trade deadline, Crosby's known desire to win makes Chicago a highly appealing destination for him, especially if our Bears are in the playoff hunt. General Manager Ryan Poles already admitted checking in on Crosby previously, underscoring this